why do people make it such a big deal to accept open book tests in our educational system? We constantly hear people say that it is unfair and ineffective to students. Well, I think that is wrong. Open book tests can be realistic and practical. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone. My name is Ezra binti Nur Akhiruddin Alam from DIA 3C. In my speech today, I would like to persuade you why you should prefer open book tests than closed book tests during the examination. Open book test is superior to closed book test for many reasons, which are encourage students to pay attention in class, give big impact in learning strategies, and reduces stress for students. Many of you are probably asking why I prefer open book tests compared to closed book tests. After hearing my speech, I am very sure you will consider my opinion that open book test encourages students to pay attention in class. Firstly, the advantage you could get from having open book test is encourage students to pay attention in class. As well as all of us know, an open book test would allow students to carry ample materials to examination hall. While writing their answers, students can gather information from those reference materials. As a result, a student who has been attentive and focused will have advantage over a student who did not pay attention to the subject in class. Borrowing notes from friends and top scorers will not able student in answering the question. Rather than memorizing the entire textbook, the students expects to absorb knowledge or information and present it during the examination. Moreover, the teacher's role is to transfer knowledge from the textbook into the student's mind. If a student simply memorizes the textbook, he or she will not get a deeper understanding of the subject and will be disconnected from practicing in real life. In my opinion, understanding is preferable to memorizing. Learning and understanding are better than memorizing because you will be able to come up with your own definition about a topic that you have learned. Furthermore, if you do memorizing without understanding, you may end up forgetting everything you have studied. So, knowledge is vital in studying. Remember, success does not depend on quantity of memorizing only, but the understanding of information is more important. Hence, open book test is allowed to encourage students to pay attention in class. Now that you understand that open book test could help encourage students to pay more attention in the class, let's move on to the next advantage, which is give big impact in learning strategies. The next advantage you will get from sitting on open book test is it gives big impact in learning strategies. Open book exams encourage the proper mental set in both learning and teaching. The examination can assist students in developing their information, recall skills, and applying them in the area of their life. Students will stop marking to recreate it in tests. Furthermore, it will cause a major shift inside this approach. This is not to say that students should not study for exams. It indicates the students should grasp concepts and apply them to the problem-solving skills. As a result, education becomes more enjoyable in the viewer rather than a terrible duty. And what might be learned with joy is more efficiently absorbed and remembered. That is how it should be, because nobody is perfect. Thus, we need to accept that by open book test, it gives big impact in learning strategies. As you can see, that to have the open book test could give big impact in learning strategies. I might say Lastly, I want to tell you why open book test is better than closed book test, which is it can reduce stress for students. Lastly, why I think open book test is better than closed book test is because it can reduce stress for students like me. It is because it is not too demanding to memorize a lot of information to lessen burden for students. For instance, students tend to focus more on the retention of information rather than developing and understanding their studies. This is because some of students find it hard to understand or even afraid to ask when they do not understand. As a result, we must always find a way to work smarter to prevent stress. Next, to lessen the pressure for retaining information among students. It allows students to focus on understanding the concept better and will keep in the information give longer in the head. For example, students have so many things to catch up like assignments, tutorials, and exams. So if they get pressure, they'll have a hard time to understand things that have been taught. Hence, we need to passionate towards the concepts of learning to retain knowledge in our mind. Now that I have given you some of the advantages, why should consider open book test is better than closed book test? The purpose of my speech has been delivered to all of you. So I hope I have convinced you to consider open book test is better than the closed book test in examination. Keep in mind an open book test is a real testing strategy. It is perfectly effective for students. Now we can throw the bad perspective that open book test is not a good way to test the student in examination as it has its own advantages. Overall, I believe that open book test is better than closed book test. Before I end my speech, I will end all of you with one quote by C.S. Lewis. Education without values are useful as it seems, rather to make man a cleverer devil. I think that's all from me. Thank you.